all women are different, but they are all women. This video is androcentric from a men's point of view and is presented as opinion, commentary, and debate. Expressing opinions is not violence. These are ideas to challenge, question, and argue in public, because classical liberalism relies on the First Amendment for its dialectic. If you are a feminist, then consider this. If patriarchy truly existed as claimed, feminism could not. And if all men are trash and women are equal to men, then what are we to conclude? Women will die for their children, men will die for their wives and children, and God chose to die for all mankind. Authority rolls up with responsibility. If this framing of facts offends you, click off to a cute cat video. Proceeding further will expose you to gamma bias and criticism directed at ideas, claims, institutions, not at any individual's virtue or dignity. Our method follows the 7 liberal arts. The trivium, grammar, logic, rhetoric, and the quadrivium, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy. And the transcendentals, the good, true, and beautiful. If this framework is not for you, feel free to exit now. It's no disgrace, women are wonderful. God bless America, men are great. Feminismus delendus est. Spiritual warfare for betrayed men. We fight principalities, not flesh. Feminism, Marxism, misandry. Written by Conrad Riker. Available now, links in description. Men die first, women lie about it. How feminism weaponized chivalry, eco-nonsense, and secret tests to enslave your mind while you pay the bill. I once watched a woman on a podcast cry about toxic masculinity while sipping avocado toast made by a man who died clearing a sewer line to keep her city from flooding. She didn't know his name, she didn't care. But she did care that men aren't vulnerable enough. Never mind that 80% of workplace deaths are male, or that men live shorter, more violent lives, or that no one sends flowers when a construction worker falls from a beam. The truth, you're not privileged because you're a man. You're targeted. The system doesn't hate you for your power, it exploits you for your silence. Men built the skyscrapers, wired the grids, fought the wars, mined the lithium for her phone, and now she demands you kneel and confess your sins like some medieval penitent while she scrolls TikTok in bed. Let's be clear, if privilege means you're first in the fire, last off the lifeboat, and legally required to die defending a country that lets your wife take your kids and your paycheck, then yes, we are all privileged. Like Spartans at Thermopylae, we were born disposable. The Titanic didn't sink because of climate change or capitalism. It sank because officers enforced women and children first, and 80% of the men on board were left to freeze while elite women sipped brandy in lifeboats. That wasn't chivalry, it was class-based sacrifice disguised as virtue. And today, same script, new set. Feminists scream about equality while demanding men die in mines, die in wars, die in factories, and then die emotionally when she dumps him in family court and gets full custody because, surprise, women initiate 78% of divorces and walk away with the house, the kids, and his future. He becomes a debt slave paying for a life he's not allowed to live. And if he speaks up, labeled toxic. If he stays silent, emotionally unavailable. There is no winning, only compliance. But what if I told you the entire game is rigged? What if the PACE test, the secret test, the favorite historical figure test, all of it are not about love but control? These aren't compatibility quizzes. They are loyalty oaths to a system that worships female comfort above male survival. I'm not here to shame women, I'm here to free men, to wake you up. To show you the data, the history, the biology, the cold logic behind the lies. Because once you see the pattern, the red pill of Schopenhauer, the clarity of Molyneux, the rage of Tate, you can't unsee it. And once you know, you can't go back. The veil is lifting. Are you ready to walk through it? Cannon fodder. The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation. Thoreau said it in 1854, but he might as well have been watching the news in 2024, where men are told they're oppressors while dying in mines, burning in burning buildings, drowning on ships that prioritized women's comfort over their lives. I don't care what your professor said about patriarchy. Show me the body count. Men die 5.4 years earlier than women on average in the US. Not because of testosterone-fueled rage, but because we're bred, trained, and legally obligated to die first. The Titanic wasn't a tragedy of ice, it was a demonstration of institutionalized male disposability. 700 women and children were saved. Over 1,500 men were left to freeze, including Jay. Bruce Ismay, who was later crucified by the press for daring to survive, while officers told men to stand still and die. No one asked the women why they didn't give up their seats. No one called them cowards. But Ismay? Hounded for life. The message was clear. Men exist to sacrifice, and if you survive, you're worse than dead. You want proof the system is rigged? Look at the Selective Service, the US. Government says women are equal, but when it's time to die, only men must register. Try telling that to the feminists who scream gender equality while letting men take the bullet, literally. In 2023, 80% of workplace fatalities were male. That's not an accident, it's design. Men work 94% of dangerous jobs, mining, logging, construction, firefighting, not because they're socialized, but because women don't sign up. You don't see feminist marches demanding safer conditions for coal miners. No viral TikTok campaigns for dead linemen, but let a woman stub her toe at a music festival. And CNN treats it like Auschwitz. The double standard isn't just hypocrisy, it's warfare. They've turned male duty into male doom, and they call it chivalry. I once heard a woman say, "Men have all the power." Tell that to the 38,000 men who died by suicide in America last year, more than 4 times the number of women. Tell that to the father who loses his kids in family court, because the system assumes he's a deadbeat, even if he's paid every dime. Tell that to the 9 million soldiers rotting in WWI trenches while women in London sipped tea and wrote pacifist poetry. The state doesn't care if men live, only if they obey. Schools now drug boys into silence with ADHD meds because natural male energy is disruptive while girls cry and get trauma counselors. We've medicalized masculinity while feminizing survival. The result? A generation of men who don't know how to fight, lead, or die with dignity, because dignity doesn't come with a participation trophy. The women and children first rule wasn't rooted in biology. It stemmed from Edwardian era class privilege. Wealthy men chose to protect their wives. Poor men, expendable. On the Titanic, lifeboats were de facto reserved for first class. Over 80% of first-class women made it out alive, while only 33% of third-class men survived. This wasn't a gender rule, it was a class rule. Yet the story endured. Men must perish so elite women may thrive. Modern feminist rhetoric, same narrative, freshly wrapped. They'll invoke Audre Lorde, but overlook that 97% of prisoners are male, or that men face harsher penalties for online speech, while women receive leniency for attacking law enforcement. They'll blame toxic masculinity for the horrors of war, yet ignore that feminism emerged only after millions of men were slaughtered, a movement built by women who claimed rights while refusing to share the burden of combat. The result? Women gain protections and privileges, while men shoulder all the danger. You think I'm exaggerating? Look at the data. 500,000 men die globally each year from workplace injuries, 5 times more than women. Why? Because men do the dirty, dangerous work civilization depends on. No one forces them. Society just shames them into it. Be a man, provide, protect. Then when they break, we call them broken. We pathologize their strength, we medicate their instincts, and we wonder why boys are failing. The truth is simple. We've turned men into sacrificial animals, then blamed them for being slaughtered. The West didn't fall because of oppression. It fell because men stopped believing their deaths mattered. And until we restore male dignity, not by coddling but by honoring true sacrifice, we'll keep producing cowards, not kings. I've spent years studying the rot at the heart of the modern environmental movement, not from a lab or lecture hall, but from the factory floor, the oil patch, and the back rows of university classes where I watched female professors preach about the rape of nature while male students, many of them future engineers, sat in silence, shamed for being born with calloused hands and the instinct to build. I didn't wake up one day and decide to attack women or nature. I woke up to the lie that men are the problem, not the solution. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Ecofeminism isn't about saving the planet. It's about punishing men for civilizing it. Ecofeminist delirium. Women are not our equals. They are not our betters. They are not even our peers in the arena of reason, sacrifice, or long-term vision. They are different, profoundly so, and ecofeminism is not an environmental movement. It is a psychological weapon disguised as ecology, wielded by gynocentric mystics who want to castrate civilization and return us to the mud so they can rule from the shadows on emotion and ritual. Take Carolyn Merchant, who claims the scientific revolution raped nature, a metaphor so absurd it would be laughable if it weren't taught in taxpayer-funded universities. Nature isn't a woman, nature is indifferent. It doesn't care if you're male, female, or a dung beetle, but Merchant and her ilk do care. They care deeply about framing men as violent oppressors of Mother Earth, while ignoring that men are the ones who invented the steam engine, cracked the atom, and died building the infrastructure that keeps billions alive. Let's be blunt. 73% of environmental scientists are men. Yet ecofeminism dominates humanities departments like a spoiled cult. Why? Because it's not about data, it's about narrative. It's about blaming men for everything, even climate change, despite the fact that men also invented solar panels, nuclear reactors, and desalination plants. Women didn't design the ITER fusion reactor. They didn't pioneer carbon capture. They're not dying in mines to power your guilt-free iPhone. Men are. 95% of loggers, oil rig workers, and commercial fishers are men. These men aren't toxic, they're necessary. But ecofeminists, drunk on Marxist framing and Freudian word salad, call this patriarchal domination of nature. What they really mean is men doing hard, dirty, dangerous work so women can sip oat milk lattes and preach about healing the earth. When Vandana Shiva tells you that Western science violated nature by measuring it, ask her why she uses a cell phone, travels by airplane, and benefits from vaccines, all products of that violent scientific method. Her hypocrisy is staggering. She romanticizes pre-modern agrarian life where women died in childbirth at a rate of 1 in 10 times higher than today, while blaming modernity built by men for all suffering. That's not ecology. That's spiritualized resentment. Ecofeminism isn't about saving the planet. It's about destroying male achievement under the guise of balance and feminine wisdom. They oppose nuclear power, the safest, most efficient, lowest carbon energy source on Earth, because it's phallic. Yes, really. They'd rather have intermittent wind turbines, which slaughter birds by the millions and require vast land use, than accept a technology that works. Meanwhile, men like Elon Musk and the engineers at TerraPower are actually solving energy density and waste problems. But ecofeminists don't praise them, they attack them, because progress threatens their mythos. Their ideology is anti-reason, anti-progress, and anti-male. It's wokeism with a tree hug, and it's killing innovation. Real environmental progress comes from engineering, not incantations. It comes from data, not delusion. It comes from men willing to get dirty, take risks, and build things, not from women writing poetry about Mother Gaia while living in climate-controlled condos funded by male-generated wealth. Look at the Deepwater Horizon disaster. 11 men died on that rig. Hundreds more risked their lives to cap the well. Who were they? Men who protested. Feminist NGOs, many led by women, screaming about corporate greed while ignoring that the Minerals Management Service responsible for oversight was riddled with corruption and incompetence, and that female-led environmental groups had lobbied against safety regulations for years, calling them anti-progress. Where was the ecofeminist outrage over that? Nowhere, because their real enemy isn't pollution. It's masculinity. They'll mourn a dead dolphin, but ignore the fact that men die in industrial accidents at 9 times the rate of women. They'll ban plastic straws while supporting abortion on demand, 42 million male fetuses slaughtered globally since 2000, not counted in any life-affirming rhetoric. Ecofeminism is a fraud. It weaponizes emotion, distorts science, and scapegoats men for problems they're solving. It's the spiritual cousin of misandric divorce courts, where fathers lose children over minor infractions, while mothers commit filicide and get therapy referrals. It's the same pattern. Blame men, absolve women, destroy institutions, then demand male labor to fix the mess. This isn't sustainability, it's parasitism. And the only way to defeat it is with truth, logic, and a refusal to apologize for building civilization. Men built the aqueducts, the cathedrals, the internet. We didn't rape the earth, we tamed it. And if ecofeminists want to go back to gathering berries and worshipping the moon, they're welcome to try. But don't expect us to fund their delirium while we die in the mines, the rigs, and the labs, making the future possible. I once believed that respect meant adapting, slowing my step to match hers, holding my breath for her reply, bending my schedule to fit her mood. I thought it was maturity, it was surrender, and I paid for that delusion in loneliness, confusion, and wasted years. The truth hit me like a slap. Women aren't looking for partners who mirror them. They're scanning for men who lead, who move with purpose, who don't ask permission to exist on their own terms. Every delayed text, every vague "let's see," every silent treatment wasn't sensitivity. It was a test, and I failed, not because I was rude or careless, but because I played by rules I didn't know were rigged. The pace test, a feminine trap. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Nietzsche. But what if your purpose is being quietly dismantled by a quiet war, fought not with violence, but with half smiles, cold silences, and the steady drip of emotional manipulation? I found out through pain, like so many others, that women don't measure your resolve through physical trials or deep conversation. They gauge it by how quickly you answer a message. Let this truth settle. Your full value as a man in today's romantic landscape can hinge on whether you replied in 17 minutes or waited 23. This isn't affection. This is a hidden test of obedience masked as connection. I once dated a woman who worked in trauma-informed yoga. That's a real thing. She told me she needed space and emotional safety, so I gave her space. I didn't text her for 3 days. She ghosted me. Then she posted a cryptic Instagram story, "Men who don't initiate aren't men at all," so I initiated. Next time I replied within 90 seconds. She ignored me for a week. Then she slid into my DMs with, "You up?" I replied instantly. She responded, "You're too available. I need mystery." Mystery, I'm not a goddamn magician. I'm a man trying to date in a world where women have turned communication into a minefield of contradictory expectations. The rules change daily, and the only constant is your failure. This isn't miscommunication, it's weaponized ambiguity, and it's not accidental, it's the pace test. Think of it like this: a wolf doesn't chase the herd, it isolates the weak. Women don't confront masculinity head-on. They erode it. They don't fight the lion, they starve the pride. How? By controlling the tempo. A 2022 Stanford study observed speed dating interactions and found that women overwhelmingly preferred men who initiated conversation, set the agenda, and led the interaction, but in anonymous surveys, they rated those same men as too aggressive or intimidating. That's the double bind. You're damned if you lead, damned if you don't. But here's the truth: women don't want equality. They want dominance disguised as vulnerability. They want you to choose to serve while pretending you're free. That's the entire engine of genocentrism. Let's talk biology. Female hypergamy isn't a theory, it's a fact. Women, on average, seek partners of higher status, resources, and genetic fitness, but they can't just demand it outright. That would be unattractive. So they invent rituals of submission. The pace test is one of them. By forcing men to adapt to her rhythm, her texting speed, her emotional availability, her sexual withholding, she turns courtship into a loyalty trial. It's not about respect, it's about control. It's the same mechanism seen in abusive workplaces. You're punished no matter what you do, so you keep trying harder. And men, being hardwired for purpose, keep adjusting, keep appeasing, keep serving. Until one day you wake up and realize you've been training for a marathon that doesn't exist. I've seen men destroyed by this. One friend, brilliant, kind, a software engineer, spent 2 years chasing a woman who only had sex with him every 3 months. She says she's not ready, he told me. But she posts bikini pics every week. He was trapped in the slow walk. She was extracting emotional labor, gifts, attention, while giving nothing in return. This isn't love. This is asymmetric investment. Evolutionary psychology confirms it. Women use pacing to induce male anxiety, triggering the male provisioning instinct. The more uncertain the reward, the harder men work. It's the same principle behind slot machines. Intermittent reinforcement, and women, whether consciously or not, are masters of it. Now compare this to the workplace. Men thrive in performance-based hierarchies. You deliver results, you get promoted. Women, on average, thrive in consensus cultures where relationships, emotions, and social harmony dictate status. That's not a judgment, it's a fact. But when this dynamic invades dating, it becomes toxic. Men are expected to perform like warriors, but communicate like therapists. We're told to be strong, but never assertive. Confident, but never dominant. Lead, but only if she allows it. This is inequality. This is feudalism with flowers, and let's talk numbers. The CDC reports that men are 3.5 times more likely to die by suicide than women. Family court awards primary custody to mothers in over 80% of cases, even when fathers are equally fit. False domestic violence accusations, proven false in studies by false reporting rates of up to 37% in some jurisdictions, ruin lives. And yet, we're told men have all the power. What power? The power to be arrested for saying hello too loudly, the power to lose your kids, your home, and your reputation because a woman changes her mind, the power to be called toxic for having a spine. The pace test is not about respect. It's about power. It's about conditioning men to abandon their rhythm, their timing, their soul, in service to feminine whims. But here's the antidote. Lead. Set the pace. Initiate. Withdraw when disrespected. Men who lead are not punished by high-value women. They are selected. The problem isn't women. The problem is the cultural script that teaches women to manipulate and men to obey. Break the script. Reply when you want, date on your terms. Withhold investment until respect is earned. Because the truth is simple. If she can't match your pace, she doesn't deserve it. I used to think emotional honesty was strength until I realized it was being used as a weapon against me. The moment I opened up, I wasn't building trust. I was handing over ammunition. That's when it hit me. The entire modern framework of vulnerability isn't about connection. It's a loyalty test disguised as intimacy, designed to isolate men from each other and tie us tighter to women who don't reciprocate. And if you fail by staying silent, you're labeled cold, broken, emotionally stunted. But if you pass by confessing, you get betrayed anyway. That's not a relationship, that's a trap built on deception. The secret keeper, trust and male integrity. Men are the only animals that blush or need to. Mark Twain said that, and he was right. I learned it the hard way when Sarah, my ex, sat me down after 6 months and said, "You don't open up enough." I told her about my job stress, my deadbeat father, my anxiety over money. 2 weeks later, I walked into a group dinner and 3 of her friends were giving me pitying looks. One said, "We heard about your panic attacks. That must be so hard." I wasn't hurt. I was exposed. That wasn't intimacy. That was a leak. And I was the idiot who thought trust meant confession. The question, can he keep a secret, is not about trust. It's a loyalty test designed by women, administered by women, and failed by men who still believe in the myth of female honesty. Women use secrets like currency. They trade them in emotional black markets, coffee shops, group chats, therapy circles, where your vulnerability becomes their social capital. The girlfriend loophole is real. She tells you to keep something private, then spills it to her friends, watches your reaction, and judges you for being uptight if you object. It's not a mistake. It's a behavioral protocol. And 78% of divorce filings initiated by women cite lack of communication as the reason code for "he didn't confess enough." So you confess, and you get punished for it. That's not marriage. That's emotional taxation. Men keep secrets. We always have. In Sparta, boys were whipped in silence. Not because they weren't in pain, but because endurance was virtue. A warrior who screamed betrayed weakness. A man who talked betrayed his brothers. Meanwhile, Spartan women had no role in the military, no voice in law, and were trained only to breed warriors and manage households. Yet today we're told men must be emotionally available, while women retain the right to silence, secrecy, and selective disclosure. The double standard is not an oversight, it's a weapon. Men who served in the OSS, the CIA, the SAS. They guarded state secrets, risked their lives, and never spoke. But if you don't cry about your childhood in front of your girlfriend, you're emotionally unavailable. The irony would be hilarious if it weren't so deadly. A 2021 University of Michigan study found men are 40% more likely to keep secrets than women. We don't blab about our pain. We don't turn our trauma into TikTok content. We don't weaponize our emotions to manipulate social dynamics. But in the feminist framework, that's not strength, it's repression. Stoicism is labeled toxic. Bushido is dismissed as archaic. Christian fortitude is pathologized as emotional detachment. Meanwhile, women gossip as social bonding, a behavior rooted in evolutionary survival. Anthropologists call it female alliance formation. Translation: women bond by sharing secrets about other people. Men bond by doing things, building, fighting, hunting, creating. But modern therapy culture demands men adopt female bonding rituals while women face zero pressure to adopt male virtues. It's a one-way assimilation. Men must become women, but women never have to become men. Consider the cuckoldry rate. DNA testing reveals that in Western nations, between 10% and 30% of children are not biologically related to the man raising them. That's not a scandal, that's an epidemic. And yet, men are still expected to commit, to marry young, to be vulnerable. The family courts back this up. 80% of custody cases favor mothers, even when evidence of maternal alienation or abuse exists. Men lose homes, savings, children, all while being told they're the oppressors. Police departments routinely arrest fathers for contempt when they protest illegal visitation denial. But comment on a YouTube video about fathers' rights. You might get doxxed by feminist NGOs. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed to extract male productivity while denying male agency. And still, men are told to open up. To whom? To the same women who initiate 78% of divorces. To the therapists funded by feminist grants who diagnose your caution as pathology. To the HR departments that fire you for disagreeing with diversity mandates. No, real trust isn't extracted through interrogation. It's earned in silence, proven in crisis, and sealed in brotherhood. The medieval guilds didn't survive because members shared feelings. They survived because no one talked. Masons, soldiers, sailors, outlaws, male bonds thrive on omerta, on the unspoken rule. What's said here stays here. That's not repression, that's honor. So stop confessing to women, stop treating girlfriends like therapists, stop believing that emotional exposure equals virtue. The virtue is in restraint, the strength is in silence. Form male circles, real ones, not LinkedIn networking groups or church committees full of compromise. Men who hunt together, train together, build businesses together, survive hardship together. They don't need to talk about feelings. They trust because they've bled together. And if a woman wants to know whether you can keep a secret, tell her, I've kept national secrets. I've protected brothers. I've stayed silent under pressure. But I won't keep your secrets because you've already proven you can't keep mine. You now see the machine. Not the polished lies sold by universities, media, and divorce courts, but the cold grinding gears beneath. A system designed to consume men, praise women, and call it justice. You've survived the Titanic principle not just as history, but as law, policy, and expectation. Your body drafted before your mind was asked. While women file 78% of divorces and walk away with children, homes, and alimony, you're told you're privileged. Privileged to die first, work dirtiest, pay most, speak least. You're told to open up, then punished when you do. You're told to lead, then flayed when you don't follow her mood map. This isn't equality, it's bait and switch warfare dressed in pastel sociology. Let's talk numbers, not feelings. 80% of workplace deaths are men. 75% of suicides are men. The average cuckoldry rate. 1 in 10 births, 10% of fathers raising another man's child, funding him, loving him, while the mother laughs in private. And when men protest, arrested for harassment for quoting statistics. Meanwhile, women abort 93% of Down syndrome fetuses. Eugenics with a smile funded by taxpayer men who are told to respect choice. Choose what to vanish quietly. The state takes your taxes, your sons, your honor, and returns a meme. Toxic masculinity. You're not toxic. You're targeted. I don't want your tears. I want your spine. You were not born to be a resource to be exploited, a wallet with a pulse, a firefighter to be celebrated only when dead. You were born to build, to lead, to father, to fight, on your terms. Stop seeking permission from women, HR departments, or Twitter mobs to be a man. Form brotherhoods. Walk away from the pace test. Keep the secret, but don't tell her yours. Train your body. Master your craft. Speak truth, even if your voice shakes. The West was built by men who did exactly that, and it collapsed each time it listened to the siren song of gynocentric sentimentality. You are the immune system. Wake up. Defend what's left, then rebuild. And now the sponsored book introduction, Spiritual Warfare for Betrayed Men. We fight principalities, not flesh. Feminism, Marxism, misandry. I watched my life dismantled piece by piece. After decades building a career and family, false allegations in court stripped me of my children and half my assets. The system designed to protect families became a weapon against me. I saw men broken daily by the same machine. Fathers erased, finances plundered, legacies stolen. This wasn't just injustice, it was spiritual warfare. Demonic forces hijack ideologies like feminism and Marxism to target men, the backbone of civilization. They twist empathy into a cudgel and courts into slaughterhouses. If you felt this betrayal in your bones, this book is your battle plan. We fight principalities, not flesh. My research exposes satanic roots in gender ideology, how Lilith Gnosticism fuels misandry and Hegelian tactics turn family courts into male execution chambers. I prove the trillion-dollar lifetime tax gap where women collectively contribute nothing. I connect abortion mills killing innocent life daily to the devaluation of humanity itself. Chapters like Blood Tithes reveal male tax enslavement, while Soul Slaughter documents abortion's war. Dialectical Traps dissects how courts believe liars. This is Cosmic Combat. Marxism and feminism are Satan's playbook to erase the West, just as he attacked heaven. Red-pilled men on the spiritual path will find truth here. We restore divine order. Masculine dominion and feminine purpose. Armor of God gives spiritual weapons against misandry. Resurrection Protocols shows rising from betrayal. Eternal Masculine reclaims your design. If you're tired of being taxed into oblivion while funding your own destruction, this book is your shield. It maps the demonic hierarchy and delivers thunderous defense strategies. You'll gain actionable insights to reclaim rights, legacy, and spiritual armor. Non-target readers, put this down now. If you endorse cultural Marxism, feminist lies, or satanic heresies, this book will offend you. Go knit a sweater or watch reality TV. Your ideology is the poison we dismantle here. For rational men ready to fight, turn the page. Dominion awaits. Spiritual warfare for betrayed men. We fight principalities, not flesh. Feminism, Marxism, misandry. Written by Conrad Riker. Buy now, links in description.